Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to give you an update on what I needed to take with me when I was on my last road trip, which actually just happened this past weekend. I did do a video in the car, but for some reason the audio didn't take, so I'm doing another one today. So the purpose of this video is for people who have autoimmune diseases or are suffering from chronic pain from whatever disease that you happen to have. And this is about trying to make things in your life more enjoyable, despite the fact that you're living with, and sometimes immense pain. Somebody that I know very well, a very good friend of mine, said, and I think he said it just kind of like off the cuff, but it really changed a lot of how I feel about life. And he said, pain is pain. It will be there whether you're at home, sitting on your bed, your couch, whatever, watching TV, or if you go out. No matter where you are, if you're living in chronic pain, it will be there with you no matter what you're doing. So why not do something that is fun and that will bring you joy? Because no matter how many times people say it, we don't really understand and accept the fact that experiencing happiness actually does make you feel better. So, no matter how much pain you're in, if that is going to be your day, why not surround yourself with people and things that you enjoy doing and that will bring you life, bring you happiness, and just make you feel better? So, for example, this last weekend, I went with my husband on a 6-hour trip to Ottawa. I live in southern Ontario in Canada. That's a long trip in the car. So, some of the things that I do if I know that I'm going on a car ride, however long the time is for me, I need to take a look at it and figure out what do I need to take with me actually in the car so I feel better. So I've written down just a few things that I think of when I'm going on a road trip. I used to love going on road trips. I could drive for hours and hours and not be in any discomfort or pain. And that is no longer true for me. I can get into a pain crisis within 45 minutes to an hour of sitting in the same position and not moving at all. So, some of the things that I take with me, simple thing like my pillow. My pillow is something that brings me a lot of comfort when I'm sleeping. It is made of 100% down, so I can mold it and shape it into whatever I need to help support my neck and my head to decrease the amount of pain that I can have. If I decide to sleep with a pillow in a hotel, that sometimes leaves my head just like a little tilted to one side. I can wake up and start thinking, oh my God, I can't move my neck. So I already know from experience that that's not something I want to go through again. So I take my pillow with me, and as long as I have room in a suitcase, I will ensure that it's with me on a trip if I'm on a plane, or it's in the car with me on a road trip. The other things I need to make sure of is depending on the amount of time that the road trip takes. So, for example, if I'm on a half-hour trip, I don't worry too much about anything. I can take my pain medication before I leave. I get in the car with whoever's driving. We get to wherever we are, and the time frame is not that long, so I don't have to worry about having things with me in the car. But for this weekend, we were on a 6-hour road trip, and I needed to ensure that I had enough medication with me that I didn't have to go rooting in my suitcase to pick out my medications. So I use a dosette for every day that holds all of the supplements that I might need, and the prescription medications that I need on a daily basis. So let's say we left on Friday, so I use the Fridays during the day, and then we're coming back on Sunday, so I need Saturdays and Sundays pills. And then I also have a something that I got from Amazon. It holds pills, and it has enough spaces in it for multiple different pills. So what I put in there is things like Benadryl, my pain medication, anything that I might need for helping with my digestion, or anything, whatever it happens to be, I can fit them in that pill caddy and take them with me. So I want to make sure, first off, that I have all the medications that I need with me in the car to last me for however long we're in that car. The next most important thing that I take is food. I cannot eat wheat any longer. When I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's, I started doing the autoimmune protocol diet, which includes foods that do not aggravate your inflammatory process. So for me, that ended up being wheat and corn. So it is very difficult to find in a restaurant, fast food place, a convenience store, whatever it happens to be, something that does not contain wheat or corn. It's a difficult thing. So in order to try and combat that, I take the food with me. We have a decent sized little cooler bag that we have ice packs, so I will take things like cream, because I love having coffee in the morning, but a lot of creams have added dextrose to it. And that increases the sweetness of the cream. But then for people like me who have digestive issues, corn products can cause a lot of bloating and pain in your stomach, and I don't want to go through that while I'm away. So I make sure that I have in my cooler things that I can eat for the entire time that we're away, or that I know for sure. Like this instance, we went to visit my stepson, my daughter-in-law, and my grandson, and I needed to make sure that they knew what I could eat, which they do, because this has been going on for long enough that I talk to my stepson before we're coming, and we talk about, if we're going to go there for a meal, we talk about what I can eat. So that in itself is okay, but what about what can I eat on the way there? So that's why I need to make sure that I have enough food with me that lasts me on the route and then on the way back home. The other thing I want to make sure that I have is Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease where you manufacture antibodies that will attack your thyroid and eventually will destroy it to the point where it won't work at all. So you need to take medication that will take the place of what your thyroid did before you had the autoimmune disease. And then in that, I take those pills twice a day. I need to make sure that in the morning, I don't have any coffee on either side of the medication because it can affect the way it works. So thinking about that, I need to ensure that while I'm away, I wake up at an appropriate time, take my thyroid medication, and give myself an hour or two to make sure that it has time to absorb into my system before I start my morning with coffee and then breakfast, etc. So I need to keep that in mind when I'm thinking of any kind of trip, whether it's a road trip, a trip in the plane, whatever it happens to be. I need to be prepared. I can't just go any longer with an impulse idea of, okay, I wake up that day and I think, you know what? I'd like to go here or there. I need to ensure that I know where I'm going to get my food source, that I have enough medication to get me through the day, and that wherever I am, I can get there and get back home without any issues. The other things that I just wanted to talk about is your comfort in the car. So, along with a pillow, I may take a blanket so that, let's say it's the winter time and we're driving up there for Christmas. If I get cold with hypothyroidism, I get to the point where I'm just shivering. I am so cold. So, luckily, we have a car that has car seats that warm up, so that helps keep me warm. But I also take a blanket with me for those circumstances to make sure that I feel nice and cozy while I'm on this road trip. Anything else that I can think of has more to do with what do you do when you're there and you've um, had your party, whatever it is, the get together, etc. And so for us in this last example, it was returning back to the hotel. So I have an iPad with me that has TV shows that I like to watch. And so I include my earbuds, which I have right now, so that I can watch anything I want without interfering with whatever my husband wants to do, and then any medication that I might need to combat issues that I might have along the way. So, for example, there are some times where I can't sleep because it's in a hotel and it is a new environment for me for some reason. It's always been like that. I have a hard time falling asleep. So, I make sure that I have the medications with me to help me get to sleep, because without the adequate amount of sleep along your vacation, you're not going to have enough energy the next day to get up and do things that you want to do. So that will help me relax at nighttime and then help me get into a good deep sleep so that the next day, whatever it is we're doing, that I have enough energy to participate. But those are just some of the things that I thought of as a way to just give you ideas of what to make sure you have when you're going on a trip. And things are a little different if you're going on a trip that involves an airplane. Same kind of thing, though. You want to make sure that all your medications are with you in your carry on bag and that you have whatever you need to keep yourself well during your trip. So that's it for now. And I hope you found this video helpful. And like I said in previous videos, if you have any comments or any ideas of what you do to help yourself get through a day if you're going on a trip, drop those comments down below and we can all benefit from them. So until then, and until our next video, I'm Ellie.